Hershey, PA. It's the site of the 2018 PIAA Soccer Championships, and we start things off with the 2A girls soccer classification between the Lewisburg Green Dragons out of District 4 and the Bedford Bisons out of District 5. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. And Brian, we start off with small schools. We've got a team from District 4 and then a team from District 5 for the first time.
Yeah, it's a great story for the Bedford Bisons. They're here representing District 5, undefeated on the season, but it is the first time a District 5 team has ever made it to a state championship game in either boys or girls soccer, so it's a great celebration there. You look at Lewisburg, this is a team whose boys soccer team had won a couple state titles back in 2015 and 2016. Now the girls are here. After a really slow start this season, they've really caught fire.
Well, Bedford really has a high-powered offense led by Amber Thomas, a really solid player, 144 career goals.
And 57 of them this year for the senior. Her dad's the head coach, and he's going to be very proud of her, of course, but he says she's one of the best that he's seen. And he has good reason to say that because she's like a coach on the field, really identifies things very well. Great field vision. Her skills are sublime. And her work ethic as well. Very important that you are able to demonstrate that work ethic for the other players on the team. She really sets the tone for them.
And now for Lewisburg, they are going to have to turn up the notch defensively, and they are led by Chloe Michaels on the back line.
And one of the reasons they have to do that is because this is a team that doesn't have great firepower. They like to play offensive soccer, but they've been really forced to play a little bit more defensive. And they had 3 straight shutouts in the state playoffs. Chloe Michaels, number 20, one of the reasons why. Junior is a strong tackler. She sets the tone for this team in the back, and she makes great decisions on the ball. And her coach, Jose Vega, says she's an incredible player to coach.
Bedford versus Lewisburg coming up next here in the 2A Girls Soccer Championship. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have starting lineups live here on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
In 1621, the Pilgrims were grateful to be prospering in the New World and celebrating their bountiful harvest with a feast. The Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association invites you to spend Thanksgiving Day exploring new worlds with a marathon of PCN tours. This Thanksgiving, it's your turn to show what you're thankful for. Get together with your family and friends to see how Pennsylvania products are made right in your own backyard. PCN, Pennsylvania History and Culture.
Bump, set, spike. Teamwork is key to winning the PIAA Girls Volleyball Championships. With PCN Sports as your partner, you can cheer for your local high school team like never before. Stream the championships November 17th beginning at 10:30 a.m. on the PCN app. Go to PCNTV.com to subscribe and start streaming today.
After a great victory over Union forces in June 1863, Robert E. Lee marches his army to Pennsylvania. The advancing Confederates clash with General Meade's Union Army at Gettysburg, beginning the most famous battle of the Civil War. Explore our nation's past and the Gettysburg battlefield with the Gettysburg Collection. Become a member to stream the library online. Learn more at gettysburgcollection.com.
Live at Hershey Park Stadium as we get set for the 2018 PIAA 2A Girls Classification Soccer Championship between the Lewisburg Green Dragons and the Bedford Bisons. And Brian, we mentioned about Bedford getting here for the first time. First time we see a District 5 team make it this far, and they've certainly earned it. 21-0, trying to finish the perfect season.
They are indeed, and this was a team that was knocking on the door a season ago, got knocked off by Mercyhurst Prep in the semifinals, and you know, they were just looking to make that next step, and they got the opportunity this year. You look at their path to the championship game this year, they got a chance after knocking off Hopewell in round 1, 4-2. They got a chance at redemption against Mercyhurst Prep, beat them in overtime 2-1, and after that, a very tough South Park team, the Whitfield champion this year, ends up going to penalty kicks. Always nerve-wracking for coaches, but Bedford wins that one, and now they're here at Hershey. You look on the other side, you got a Lewisburg team that it's been defense, all about defense, and 3 straight shutouts After losing to Midwest in the District 4 championship game, it's been a penalty kick shootout with Elko in round 1 that they won, but that was a 0-0 game the entire way through. Then a little bit easier game against Lansdale Catholic, the District 12 champ. They won 3-0. And in the last game against Matty Hughes and Boiling Springs, Lewisburg able to win that one 1-0, holding off a late rally from the Bubblers, and they were able to hold sway, and now they're here as well. Two teams that may be coming in. We're not on the radar, but they should be now.
And we are just about ready to go for our starting lineup, so we will now send it over to our PA announcer, Ryan Hartman, for today's starters.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chocolatetown, USA and the historic Hershey Park Stadium, home to the 2018 PIAA Soccer Championships. In today's 2A Girls Final, they represent District 5 and the Laurel Highlands League, coming in with a record of 21 wins and 0 losses, welcome the Bisons of Bedford High School. Their opponent, representing District 4 in the Heartland 2 Conference, coming in with a record of 13 wins, 8 losses, and 3 ties, welcome the Green Dragons of Lewisburg. Your officials for today's game were John Lynch, Jim Fisher, and Joseph Franks. And now let's meet the starting lineups for today's game. First off, for Bedford, starting in goal, sophomore, number 13, Lindsay Mowry. Senior number 1, Jenna Brown. Wearing number 11, a senior, Bailey Donaldson. Senior number 18, Amber Thomas. Wearing number 29, a junior, Taylor Downs. Number 21, junior, Kylie Horn. Sophomore number 12, Jordan Brown. Sophomore wearing number 6, Robin Casalina. Wearing number 9, a sophomore, Abigail Donaldson. Number 14, a freshman, Josie Hampton. Freshman number 26, Sydney Tarakatak. The Bisons are coached by Jeff Thomas, assisted by Kyler Myers, Todd Rodman, and Corey Thomas, the Bisons of Bedford High School. And now let's meet the starting lineup for Lewisburg. Starting in goal, sophomore wearing 0, Lauren Gross. On defense, a senior number 6, Sarah Ayers. In the midfield, a senior number 10, Allison Reed. We're number 21 on defense, senior Sarah Burns. We're number 9 in the midfield, senior Selena Permy-Ashkin. A junior defense, number 22, Grace Rosevier. We're number 20, junior defense, Chloe Michaels. We're number 2 in the midfield, sophomore, Ella Reich. Number 16 on defense, sophomore, Chelsea Stanton. In the midfield, sophomore, number 19, Taryn Beers. On defense, freshman number 13, Elena Malone. The Green Dragons are coached by Jose Vega, assisted by Mark Gargano and Michael Ayers, the Green Dragons of Lewisburg Area High School. And now, ladies and gentlemen, prior to kickoff, we would ask that you please rise and remove your hats. And welcome Jensen Bolish and Alex Taylor of Tri-Valley High School as they sing our national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets went the air, gave
And we are ready to roll here at Hershey Park Stadium as we get set for the 2018 PIAA 2A Girls Soccer Championship. And we have Lewisburg out of District 4, Bedford out of District 5. And Brian, you take a look at the path for these two teams to get here. We talked about it. Bedford beat some really good programs. Mercyhurst Prep, a solid team. The District 10 champ, they need overtime to do that. Then they need PKs to beat the District 7 champion, South Park. Do you think Bedford had the tougher road to get here despite being the team with the better record today?
I do. I think when you came out west this time, the western side of this bracket, I think Bedford had to really navigate some teams, and not just because of how difficult some of those teams are, and it's not to try to take anything away from the teams in the East. I think the teams in the East were very good teams. But the two teams at the very end, and even Hopewell in the first round, this was a gauntlet for Bedford that they had to exercise one demon specifically from a year ago with Mercyhurst Prep, and then the South Park game after an emotional game. It's difficult sometimes to get right back up for something like that. So I think they are definitely battle-tested. There's no question about that. I think Lewisburg is adversity-tested because this is a team that started the year 5-6-1, missed the postseason a year ago. So really easy for this team at that point to go, yeah, this isn't going to be our year either. Okay, we're good. Had a senior team meeting at that point. Players called senior team meeting, and it was since that time 8-2-2. The only losses were to Midwest. Didn't have to see them again in the eastern side because Midwest got knocked out by Wyoming area right away, and now they're here. So a great opportunity for both these teams. Two teams that probably weren't expected by many, but all of a sudden one of them is going to have state gold.
The Bedford Bisons, they are in the white jerseys with the blue shorts, and the Lewisburg Green Dragons, true to their name, they are in the green, and we are underway here this morning at Hershey Park Stadium. Thank you for joining us here on PCN. And Brian, we'll see how these two teams kind of respond here. I think we were talking before the game about this being not only a new stage for these teams, but a new type of turf. And we talked about yesterday about this fast turf, and it's going to be tough for these teams to adjust to it, we think.
I think Lewisburg, because they play their home games on turf, they're going to have a little bit easier time. But it is still a very fast track no matter where you play. Bedford, on the other hand, this is a team that really doesn't play on turf a lot in District 5. So when they played the district championship game at Winburn High School, that was one of the first times that they've played on turf this year. They've been practicing on it, so it's a team that now is maybe a little bit more comfortable, but still it's an adjustment both these teams are going to have to make.
Bedford with 157 goals on the year, only 11 allowed. And Lewisburg, they've only scored 39 goals this year, and a lot of that is because of that slow start. But they've only given up 19, which has really given them a chance in some of these contests. So now Bedford trying to move forward here into the midfield. So both teams kind of going back and forth. Decent crowd on hand here at Hershey Park Stadium. I see a lot of green and a lot of blue, so good support for both of these teams.
Had no doubt in my mind that this was going to be a very heavily attended game because of the two communities. Lewisburg brought a lot the last two times they were here in 15 and 16 with the boys. Won both those games. Won a previous championship game also. So this school in soccer is 3-0 all time, but it's the first time that the girls have had an opportunity to play for a championship.
Bedford, then they're attacking third, trying to create the first scoring opportunity. And now Bedford trying to move forward here. Working it here on the near side.
Turnover and a chance for Lewisburg to try to get wide with it. We're going to have our first corner.
And here we go, a corner for Lewisburg.
And this is Ella Reich, who is going to take this one over here on the right side. She's a sophomore, instrumental in getting here to this game.
Reich goes towards the top of the box, headed towards goal, and it's deflected off of Kylie Horn and then handled nicely by Lindsay Mowry, the starting keeper for Bedford. Only a sophomore, but 13 shutouts this year for Mowry.
Yeah, both of these keepers with 13 shutouts on the year. Lauren Gross and the other goal, and both of them sophomores. So it is really youth to be served as we get the replay here, and you see that the header opportunity, just not enough. One, not directed towards goal, but anytime you have those deflections, and again, it's two new teams to this stage, so those nerves have to be worked out early. Sometimes you need to get those touches back and going. The easier the first touch is, the better it is to try to get some of those nerves out.
Over on the far side, we'll have a throw in here for Lewisburg. Playing in the midfield, only one real good opportunity thus far, and now Bedford, who has scored 157 goals this year, looking to get their offense going far side. Now to the midfield. Pass over, this is Sydney Tarakatak. Now into the near side. Taylor Downs. Bedford showing patience, taking their time.
They are a possession team, and that's one of the hallmarks of this team too, is they will possess it, they will be patient with it, they do not force things very often. The other thing I'm noticing too, Amber Thomas, who is a big-time goal scorer, they're actually having her drop back a little bit more because of the strategy that Lewisburg is showing right away. Green Dragons are marking her man-to-man with Sarah Burns, a freshman. She had that responsibility in the last game against Maddie Hughes of Boiling Springs. It is her responsibility to mark the best opposing player on the other team in all of the games they play pretty much, and they're going to use it against the very talented Amber Thomas today.
So now Lewisburg trying to, again, set something up. They've been pretty aggressive so far. They had the first set piece opportunity. And now Bedford looking to gain control. The lead pass up ahead goes to Abigail Donaldson. Donaldson trying to get past the defender, but a good job by Chloe Michaels, who we talked about in the open, Brian. Very good defender for Lewisburg.
She is a player that is a very firm tackler in the back. Does not miss a lot back there. She's not the biggest player, but she's very good in the air as well. So she's really the dream defender to have back there on the back line. And what Lewisburg plays under Coach Vega in his 10th year is they use a triangle in the back. So usually the back side of that is Chloe Michaels.
There's Amber Thomas, who was taken down and slow to get up. Good to see her able to get up right there, trying to check if she's bleeding after that foul call by Lewisburg. And I think we can expect a lot of that. Lewisburg going to be physical, really surround Amber Thomas.
You just saw head coach Jeff Thomas. 4th season with the girls team. He was with the boys team for 4 years before that, and looking concerned more as a coach right now than a dad, although that has to be the consideration. I can associate with that. You do look at it a little bit that way, but when they're out on the field, they're all your kids.
Jeff Thomas, 4 seasons, as you mentioned, with the girls soccer program at Bedford. 80-6, not too bad. And they were semifinalists last year, but first time here in the state championship game in Hershey, PA.
Look at what he did with the boys team in 4 years with them, 78-7-5, and 2 times they knocked on the door as well in state semifinals. So he's been able to do it with either one of these programs and has had tremendous success.
Moving it to the far side, kicked out of bounds by Lewisburg. Throw-in upcoming for Robin Castellina of Bedford. A little give and go. She's going to send the cross towards the box off of a Lewisburg Green Dragon, and then in the attempt to clear, actually goes off the side of the foot of that defender, and it will be a corner kick, first one of the game for the Bedford Bisons.
Chelsea Stanton trying to just send that ball out, but instead it squeezed off of her foot, and now a set piece opportunity for Bedford.
Far side corner. Towards the goal, headed out of the box. Good defense by the back line of Lewisburg, and that has been their strength all year long.
It has, and what they did is they man-marked the first couple runners, and then the zone behind would pick up anyone else. It was the third run that was the object of the pass on the play. As you see this one, that's that late run. They were trying to look on the back side to Jenna Brown.
Lewisburg pushing forward into their attacking third. Here's Reich. Good pass, a good lead pass, and it's going to be offsides. And not a bad idea. That was Allie Reed who had the extra step, but just a little bit too much in front of the defender.
Beautiful look that time, but unfortunately for Lewisburg, it was a step offside. Good call by our officiating crew. John Lynch, Jim Fisher, Joseph Franks our District 12 crew the honor of calling this championship game.
And we had some really good officiating crews yesterday, looking for more great officiating in these championship games today. And we have a foul call with the official right on cue, right on top of that one.
And you're just going to see, here's that ball in the offside call, and Reed just a little step behind Josie Hampton, and that was all it takes to get that offside call.
Free kick here for Bedford, trying to create a scoring opportunity. They have done a lot of scoring this year. Lead pass to the far side from Jordan Brown gets taken away by Lewisburg. Playing in the midfield, the Green Dragons trying to push forward far side. Now reverses to the near side. Ella Reich will track it down for Lewisburg, keeps it in here on the near sideline. But then looking, I believe, for Allie Reed, and then stepping into the passing lane was Bedford and Josie Hampton. Out of bounds, we'll have a throw in for the Bisons.
If you look at the numbers on the season for Lewisburg, it'd be easy to think that in the playoffs they've just parked the bus. And they have been under duress in the playoffs so far, but they are looking to try to push the ball forward. And a much more free-flowing team offensively. As Coach Vega tries to explain that his team is, it's just that with the firepower they've seen in the playoffs, they've been on the back foot a little bit more often and have been looking to counter more than they have to attack.
Just a moment ago is Lindsay Mowry having to come out and get that, the keeper for Bedford. And then that ball is now kicked out of bounds. It will be a throw in for Bedford. That was Elena Malone, the freshman defender for Lewisburg, sending it out of bounds. And we have our first substitutions of the contest. For Bedford, it's Juliana Taylor and Caitlin Schaefer coming into the game, a pair of freshmen coming in for the Bisons.
Nice to be able to get freshmen who immediately can jump into your program and contribute right away. You have players who come in many times. That freshman year can be a real transition year, and it's difficult for a lot of players to do that. So if you can find some that are ready to go, it's such an advantage that so many teams don't have.
Out of bounds near side. Rice with the quick throw-in. And we'll do it all again after it's knocked out of bounds. So 10 minutes going by here in the first half. Pretty even contest so far, a lot of back and forth. And with the high-powered offense that Bedford has, Lewisburg has stuck right with them, and they've created opportunities like this one into the box. Good defense by Bedford, and they will look to clear it out for the moment, although Reich sends it in on goal, and our first official save of the day is made by Mowry. But the Green Dragons have really done a good job to be aggressive and create opportunities.
Yeah, they have been on the front foot in this game, and one of the reasons why defensively they're playing a high line, and I think it's taking Bedford a little bit of time to try to figure out how to attack this back line.
So now played back into the midfield as Bedford and Lewisburg going back and forth here. And did you know you can watch this game and other PIAA championships with the PCN app? Well, download the app on your favorite device to start streaming PIAA championships live and on demand, or buy a copy of all the action. Details at PCNTV.com. Out of bounds, we'll have a Lewisburg throw-in. Reich. And intercepted by Bedford. A battle here on the near side. Ball still in, and now kicked out by Lewisburg's Taryn Beers. Bedford. The ball towards the midfield, sent right back away by Chloe Michaels of Lewisburg.
They've got to be more patient right now for Bedford. What they're trying to do is they're trying to possess the ball in the back and then just try to play the ball long, but they think that there's openings behind them, but they're not recognizing. It's a very unique triangle defense that they play where the defenders really interchange and with on the backside.
Look at this ball. Great lead pass, and then that gets deflected off of Reich, but that was a beautiful ball. Reich onside, and again, Mowry has to come off her line and make a play. And they're checking on Reich just to make sure that she is okay.
As they should, and that's a good job by the official right away, coming over. As you see, she was in the line of fire ball drilled right off of her, and you're worried about concussions all the time. So just checked where the ball hit. It looked like it hit her a little bit underneath maybe around the jaw area. So she shook her head. I'm fine. We're good to go.
Ella Reich, another lead pass for her. She's a sophomore striker. 5 goals, 9 assists this year. Very important player to this Lewisburg offense. And you say 5 goals, but that is a good chunk of what Lewisburg has done offensively this year. Her, along with Taryn Beers and Allie Reed, and as well as Amelia Kepke, are really the main goal scorers for this team.
Ari, Amber Thomas has 57 goals. Jenna Brown has 39 goals for Bedford. Both of them have at least as many goals as Lewisburg has as a team this year. And that just shows the play in Lewisburg's conference, the Heartland Conference, is just so difficult for teams to try to get through. And there's so many good teams year in and year out. And we normally will see at the single and double A levels, District 4 teams either coming all the way to Hershey or making deep runs every single year. And it's just really a testament to the quality of play in that conference.
And as we've mentioned, District 5, this is the first time we've had a team from District 5 to make it here to Hershey, and Bedford certainly well-deserved appearance, 21-0 to this point, and defeated 2 very good district champions in Mercyhurst Prep and South Park out of Districts 10 and 7, respectively.
And you'd have to, even though they are the team that is from a district that's never been here before, they'd have to be the favorite in the game because they have more history with the group that they have right now on the field. They have more experience at this level and have seen more of this level of action in the state playoffs, considering they made the semis a year ago.
25 minutes remaining here in half number 1. No score. We've had a couple of shots and a couple of good attempts from Lewisburg, but Bedford really yet to test the keeper, Lauren Gross. Maybe this is the moment. They've had 1 set piece. There's a good cross on goal, and having to come out and grab it is Gross. So on cue, Bedford offense gets going, and maybe that'll get them started at least a little bit to move into their attacking third.
Notice the difference of how they started that attack, though. And this is a possession team, and sometimes you forget about that when you're trying to break a team down. 3 passes in a row, working the ball inside, outside, and getting an opportunity for a cross gave them at least a decent offensive look.
Now back the other way as the Lewisburg Green Dragons continue to try and push forward and create scoring opportunities. That's sent in by Taryn Beers, and it will go all the way over the end line. Goal kick upcoming for Bedford and Lindsay Mowry.
For this Lewisburg team, they really, when they came out this season and did not have success early on, I think one of the other things that was important for this team, and you have to do this as a coach, you have to reevaluate goals and maybe the mission statement going out there. And one of the things that Jose Vega did for this team was he looked at him and said, look, let's just go out there and have fun. Worry about one game at a time. The team was too worried about the big picture. And since that time, they've played a lot looser. And you can see when they came off the bus today, this was a team that was really loose coming in, enjoying the experience, the opportunity to be here and get a chance to play for a state title.
Good ball down the far side, kept in, cross to the middle, got some space, pass in the middle, the Beer shot on goal, and having to save it short side is Mowry. It might have been a little wide anyway, but again, Lewisburg has continued to put the pressure on, and I'm honestly surprised, Brian, that Lewisburg, coming in with only 39 goals, has been the more attacking team.
Well, they're using space. They got the ball wide. Here's a place where Mowry turns, and as a striker, you have that Beers turns, and as a striker, you're turning, looking to take that shot. What she didn't realize that time was she had a teammate on her side, as Allie Reed was on her right, open in the middle with nobody marking her, would have had an opportunity to score.
Now Bedford pushing forward on the far side. Good lead pass, and then sent out of bounds by Lewisburg by Selena Permiashkin. Out of bounds again. And we'll have another throw-in for Bedford. Taking it will be Jordan Brown. The entry pass to Jenna Brown. And good job by Taryn Beers now. And this, I believe, is Allie Reed, far side. Foot race to the ball, and getting to it is the Bedford defender, Josie Hampton. out of bounds, and we will have a goal kick as it goes over the end line. And first substitutions of the game for Lewisburg, as Amelia Kepke, one of the top subs, coming into the contest, as well as Cassia Kepke, senior midfielder.
I believe it's a senior act coming in. They're not twins. One's a senior, one's a sophomore, but very key subs for this Green Dragons team.
Far side, Permiashkin had it for Lewisburg. And now Bedford trying to gain control in the midfield. Bedford, I don't think, has possessed as much as they would like here, Brian.
And you're seeing when they try to possess, it's better soccer from them. And they're finding some spaces, but it's just a matter of that final pass, that extra product, and try to push the ball down the field.
Lewisburg tried to move forward, kicked out of bounds, throw in here for Ella Reich and the Green Dragons, and then sent out of bounds by Bedford's Taylor Downs.
Yeah, I think more than anything else right now, the Bisons have to be true to their own mantra, which is being a possession team and being patient with it. And this is what they prided themselves on all season long, is possessing the ball. Nerves can really play with your emotions, but also with your game plan when you're in a state championship situation. You have so many things racing through your mind, and everything just gets amped up a little bit more. And that sometimes is why it's very difficult for a team to calm down a little bit in a state championship game. I will say this about Bedford right now: when they do possess, they look good and they look like they can be dangerous.
And now here comes Lewisburg with a shot from outside the 18, handled easily on one hop by Lindsay Mowry. Not a lot on that kick, but again, Lewisburg continuing to put the pressure on the back line of the Bedford Bisons.
That's Sarah Ayers on that shot, taking that one from distance. And it's a speculative try, and you put those on hoping for a rebound of some sort.
Bailey Donaldson for Bedford tracked it down, but a battle on the far side. Amelia Kepke tried to keep the ball in bounds, could not. We'll have a throw-in for the Bedford Bisons as we have passed the midway point of the first half, and certainly the advantage has been with Lewisburg to this point, but they have not been able to put it past Lindsay Mowry, the Bedford keeper.
Yeah, as much as we've talked about the Lewisburg defense, this Bedford defense has been very good all year. Only 11 goals allowed all season long by this team. I mean, they are high-powered as far as the scoring attack, but Bailey Donaldson, Josie Hampton have been a great combination in the back. Senior freshman back to the center back pairing for the Bisons.
Moving here to the near side is Taylor Downs. Good ball here now, moving up the far side. Downs trying a little give and go, but right there to cut that one off was Elena Malone for Lewisburg. Out of bounds throw in here for Bedford.
They need to continue that, though. But the other thing I'd like to see them do once they come up the wing like that, look for that pass to the inside. And the distributor of this team is Amber Thomas. And give a lot of credit right now to how they're defending her with Sarah Burns, but she really has not been a factor, has not gotten many touches so far in the action.
I think the only time we mentioned Amber Thomas was when she got knocked to the ground. But yeah, not a lot of touches for her. Lewisburg has played a good game so far, but Bedford again trying to move forward, and a miscue there. Out of bounds, throw in upcoming for Lewisburg.
They're having more success though now putting some passes together. Now it's a matter of getting the accuracy at the end, but you can see they're starting to adjust, and I think the players here for Bedford are seeing, well, if Amber Thomas, our team leader, is not going to be able to be part of this, the rest of us have to step up a little bit more and shoulder some of that load in terms of possession, and they're starting to have a little bit more success with it.
We have not really talked much about Jenna Brown either, who is the second leading goal scorer at 39 goals this year, 66 for her career.
Best buddies with Amber Thomas, and what a pairing they've been through their entire careers.
Good tackle in the midfield by Bedford. They try to go near side, but Reich is right there for Lewisburg. Now in the center of the field, played back by Bedford. Donaldson. Now for Lewisburg, this is Chelsea Stanton, has it far side. And Bedford able to keep it in along the far side, but sent back towards the midfield by Stanton. Bison still possess, and they play it back. Good job, good tackle right there by Lewisburg and Allie Reed. Now to the near side. This is Caitlin Schaefer, who just came into the contest as a sub for Bedford. Josie Hampton looking for downs, but again, a great job by this Lewisburg back line in the midfield. And we've seen this yesterday too, Brian, where the back line and even the midfielders too are defending forward. They're pushing forward to keep the opponent, in this case Bedford, out of their attacking third.
You are very seldom going to see a team that makes it here to Hershey that does not understand the importance of all players on the field playing defense at some point. And that includes your strikers, your wingers, getting not just up and back, but also when the other team has the ball, pressuring the ball to try to create opportunities.
And Schaefer for Bedford unable to track that one down. It will be Reich for the throw-in for the Green Dragons.
But again, we're starting to see the possession switch. And all of a sudden, Bedford's having a lot more of the ball.
And here come the Bisons trying to push. They've got some space. This is Jenna Brown. Good move to get around the defender. And then sent to the far side by Juliana Taylor. And a little trip. And we're going to have a call. This will be a set-piece opportunity on the direct kick for the Bedford Bisons. Maybe their best opportunity thus far.
You know what's happening here then, too, is you're going to see the foul coming over, and just the clip, as a little late getting there was Chelsea Stanton knocking down Juliana Taylor. And that means this is an opportunity for Amber Thomas to involve herself in the game directly, as she will take the free kick.
There we go. Right outside the 18. And she's going right for the goal, and it goes over the crossbar. Not a bad idea, though, from Amber Thomas, but it is good to get her into the action for the Bisons.
No question, as we have a sub, as Kylie Horn returns for the Bisons in place of Caitlin Schaefer. You know, I remember a game specifically I coached a year ago where we man-marked the best player of the opposing team. We were doing a great job with it, and a free kick opportunity presented itself, and all of a sudden, that player ends up scoring on us, and that's the only way he was getting into the game, but you give that opportunity.
Handball called on Bedford. Kylie Horn with the arm extended, got her left hand, so we'll have a restart free kick here for Lewisburg. It'll be taken by Chloe Michaels. Chloe Michaels, first team All-Star, and has really anchored this back line. Good ball for Lewisburg. Bedford now battling. Sent towards the middle of the field by Cassia Kepke. And Kepke again going back and forth here in the midfield. Horn. Both teams trying to possess here. A lot of back and forth in the midfield over the last minute or so.
Yeah, we've pretty much had 26 and a half minutes of midfield possession is what this has been primarily, where neither team has really gotten a true threat on goal. You've had the free kick by Thomas, the best chance for Bedford, and at the other end you've had maybe one shot from distance that was a chance, and another one that was offside,
right,
which is an opportunity for Lewisburg. But outside of that, it's been pretty much played in the midfield thus far.
Well, now Bedford trying to get out of the midfield here. Ball towards the middle, but no white jerseys. Just Chloe Michaels to send it away. Now a foot race for the ball, and having to come out and grab it is Lindsay Mowry, as Amelia Kepke was racing up the center of the field for Lewisburg.
You know what I love about that, though? Kepke's running up the field, and instinctively the two center backs, Hampton and Donaldson, coming together, squeezing, even though they were going to get there first and their keeper wasn't going to have any problem, making sure that nobody's getting through the two of them to try to squeeze through to get a goal.
Now Bedford looking to reverse fields here. Played to the midfield and to the near side. Now played back. Taylor Downs back and forth with Josie Hampton.
That's the correct move now. Swing the ball, open the field. This is Bedford soccer right here. Nice patient soccer, switching the point of attack.
And we saw them really show a lot of patience early, and maybe the frustration setting in a little bit that the back line of Lewisburg was not letting them get through, and now maybe they're going back to that style as we have a substitution for Lewisburg.
Many times in high school soccer, you'll see a lot of teams stick speed up top and just send the ball long, say, go run onto it. That's not what Bedford does. Bedford is a team that is going to build, and they'll have some speed up front. They'll play that occasional direct ball, but this is a team that wants to play pretty soccer, and it's been very effective for Coach Jeff Thomas's teams over the years.
And now a giveaway here as Bedford looking to push forward, but the Lewisburg back line again coming up. Good job by the midfield. Ella Reich. And it will be a call against Bedford.
Taylor Downs getting called for that one. The left back a little too aggressive on the play. Taylor Downs is a left back for this team. 8 goals, 13 assists. And you see at the very end, 2 shoves with the arm extended, and that's what draws the call.
Free kick for Chloe Michaels in Lewisburg. Headed back to the midfield by Bailey Donaldson of Bedford. And now the pass from Tarak Attack. Now Jenna Brown has it.
How much do you love that name?
I absolutely love it, and I hope I say it 20 more times. Bedford working it to the near side. Kylie Horn. But a lot of green jerseys right there, including Allie Reed.
They're trying to force the ball down the middle right now, and there is opportunity to try to get the ball wide and then work it back to the inside. They're just choosing at this point, Bedford is, to try to force it down the middle channel a little bit too much.
We'll have a throw-in and a substitution for Bedford. Abigail Donaldson back into the contest. And she will move over to the far side. Throw in here for Taylor Downs of Bedford. Works it to the middle to Abigail Donaldson, who again just came back into this game. Jenna Brown back to Donaldson up the center and coming out and sliding. And really the first big time action there for Lauren Gross in goal for the Lewisburg Green Dragons.
Yeah, and it was just something that she needed to come off her line. That ball was played around. The defenders back there recognized the situation. We're going to protect their keeper from that one, but you still need to come out, and you have to be willing to come off your line, and Lauren Gross was up to that task.
Sent in by Lewisburg. Handball as Reich made contact, and it will be a free kick here for Bedford. Under 9 to play here in the first half. No score as of yet. Both teams have had some chances, but so far the goalies have not had to work all that hard here in half number 1. Like you said, Brian, a lot of this game so far has been played in the midfield, a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, you can count the number of shots on one hand between the two teams right now, and even less saves between the keepers because even the shots are kind of sketchy at best. We have not seen any real challenges on either goal.
Throw in here for Bedford, perhaps an opportunity if they can get a good look on goal, but Chloe Michaels of Lewisburg make sure that doesn't happen for the time being. It'll be a throw in for Taylor Downs here on the near side. And again, Amber Thomas not able to do anything with that. Great defense by Lewisburg, and now they look to move forward here on the near side. Good job in the midfield by Bailey Donaldson to take that one away. And now the Bisons work it to the middle.
Thomas didn't recognize that time when she got the steal. Burns, who's been dogging her the entire game, was up the other direction, had a chance to push forward. That one might have been the opportunity for Bedford to get their leading score, an opportunity in the offensive third.
Here on the near side, out of bounds, Lewisburg unable to keep it in. Selena Permiashkin.
Good shielding of the ball in that play by Taylor Downs.
Amber Thomas plays it back to Downs. Sent away to the midfield by Lewisburg, and here comes Ella Reich. Good lead pass. Permy Ashkin down here the near side. Some space. And that will be a corner kick. Smart play by Selena Permy Ashkin to get the deflection.
Yeah, Permy Ashkin made a nice run off the ball. They played her down the side. Nice look from Rice with the left foot into space. Is not going to have the angle. Doesn't have support down the field yet. So what do? Defense is closing in. Make sure you win a dangerous free kick opportunity on the corner.
Here's Rice a little bit low and headed back towards the end line. Rice essentially getting another shot at that. Headed towards the goal, and it goes wide for Permy Ashkin, and it will be a goal kick. So Rice kind of used the deflection to her advantage and essentially got a second crack at it, and then Permy Ashkin with a real good opportunity.
She didn't get all of the first ball, but the clearance has to be wide of the mark. It has to come away from things. And it went right back to her, gave her a running start towards the ball. As you see here, comes back to her. She volleys it, and off the turf, it's an easier volley to make, and Permy Ashkin just wide.
And now here's Bedford on the run, working far side. And it will be a goal kick. Good job over on the far side by the Lewisburg back line.
Yeah, they continue to play very tough back there. And a great job by Lewisburg being able to make that play in the back.
Chloe Michaels will take the kick from the 6. Allie Reed, and again another foot race, and this is won by Bedford's Josie Hampton, and she will send it out of bounds, but it will be a throw-in for the Green Dragons as we've now hit the 5-minute mark here in half number 1, still scoreless here in this 2A Girls Soccer Championship contest. Bedford clears, but some space in front, and a good closeout by Bailey Donaldson on that attempt by Sarah Ayers.
She's just so solid in the back, and the player that they really look to on this Bison team to really anchor the back line, and Bailey Donaldson stepping forward and making a great play.
And the Lewisburg midfield sends it back, and it will be handled by the Bedford keeper, Lindsay Mowry.
Yeah, Permy Ashkin was offside to start with that ball, so she really couldn't challenge it initially.
And here comes Bedford. But again, a great job by the Lewisburg back line to prevent the Bisons from doing what they want to do, but that's a really nice move on the outside. And now here's Jenna Brown off the pass. And now the Bisons trying to set something up. Abigail Donaldson, touch pass, foul. And it will be a direct kick for Bedford from just about 30 yards away.
Amber Thomas set that whole thing up on the outside with a great move, 1 against 2 defenders, and then they get the ball to the inside. Reed coming back to try to help out, and Abigail Donaldson gets fouled.
That's a tough save. It's deflected off the crossbar, shot, and it is no goal. I believe Chloe Michaels was the one to kick that away before it crossed the goal line.
You are correct, sir. Chloe Michaels, money on the spot right there as Amber Thomas does what she does so well. Good job by Gross just to get anything on that one.
And then she got a little piece of it there as well.
And every little bit of that helped as she gets the initial save off the crossbar, and then the follow-up opportunity from Kylie Horn. Just getting a piece of that allows time enough for Chloe Michaels to come back and get there in front of Jenna Brown to clear the ball away.
Yeah, one more look here, Brian. Wow.
Just enough there, and the clearance.
Well, that was by far the best scoring opportunity we've had in here in the first half. But like you said, Lauren Gross getting just enough of that ball. And she's been impressive this year. 11 shutouts, only 19 goals against. She's basically played the entire season in goal as a sophomore. And Chloe Michaels, who we talked about at the top, Brian, she is so important to this Lewisburg team. And right there she shows why.
Keepers and the defense always have great communication on the top teams. They are basically connected. And yes, your defenders are going to do some things in the offensive end too, but realistically, They are working together, and what an example of that on Lewisburg. Some team defending to keep this game scoreless.
Kylie Horn right there, and there's Ella Reich for Lewisburg. We're under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Things have slowly started to pick up as we approach the half. Free kick here for Chloe Michaels off the foul call on Bedford. Now here on the far side, Reich, and that will be off of her foot. It will be a goal kick for Bedford and Lindsay Mowry.
It is not very often that we necessarily will highlight some of the defending players and players who primarily don't have those statistics that you look at. But Chloe Michaels was an easy choice here today for Lewisburg because of what she does anchoring the back group of this team. I don't want to call them a back four because it's really a back three with a marking player wherever that marking player needs to be. But it is Michaels in that sweeper role in the back part of this triangle defensively that does so much and has kept this game scoreless.
Goal kick towards the midfield. 45 seconds to go. We'll see if either team can get an opportunity, but we are here in the midfield as we have been for a majority of this first half. Now Bedford looking to make one final push. Far side, Abigail Donaldson. Touch pass deflected off Lewisburg. Throw in here for Jenna Brown and the Bisons.
Got to move quickly if you're going to get something accomplished here if you're Bedford.
Good takeaway by Lewisburg. 10 seconds now.
8, 7, 6.
And it looks like we will finish this half scoreless. So a lot of play in the midfield, but we had some excitement there at the end, and we'll look out for some more excitement coming up in the second half. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we will recap the first half and get you set for half number 2 here in the PIAA 2A Girls Soccer Championship live from Hershey on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
These days, life is busy, but amazing. From the sci-fi brilliance of technology to the existence of toast, we move at a crazy pace until this happens. Time for MedExpress. Walk right in, get the care you need, and get right back at it. MedExpress, because life is urgent.
Brought to you by Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer, the provider of quality soccer training to elite youth soccer players through its Olympic Development Program, where players can be identified for regional and national teams. For more information, go to epysa.org. PCN's gavel-to-gavel coverage of Commonwealth, Superior, and Supreme Courts every Sunday evening. PA Courts at 10 p.m.
Nothing is sweeter than watching your team compete in Hershey in December. But if you can't stand the cold, PCN has you covered. Catch the PIAA Football Championships live on cable and stream on the PCN app. Go to PCNTV.com today to subscribe. PCN, Pennsylvania Sports.
In 1621, the Pilgrims were grateful to be prospering in the New World and celebrating their bountiful harvest with a feast. The Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association invites you to spend Thanksgiving Day exploring new worlds with a marathon of PCN tours. This Thanksgiving, it's your turn to show what you're thankful for. Get together with your family and friends to see how Pennsylvania products are made right in your own backyard. PCN, Pennsylvania History and Culture. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court on PCN. Check PCNTV.com for listings. PCN, Pennsylvania's neighborhood.
Watch PCN's coverage of Pennsylvania politics and policy, history and culture, sports, and more with the PCN app. Stream live events and video on demand in HD from your favorite device. Go to PCNTV.com to start streaming today.
Back live at Hershey Park Stadium, scoreless here at the half of the 2A Girls Soccer Championship. This Thanksgiving, have your turkey with a side of PIAA championships. Catch the PIAA Soccer, Volleyball, and Field Hockey Championships on PCN November 23rd through the 25th. Watch PCN on cable and stream on demand with the PCN app. Details at PCNTV.com. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here on PCN. And Brian, as we take a look at these first half highlights, a lot of play in the midfield, a little bit of excitement at the end, and we'll see if that carries over.
I think sometimes as you have a half like that goes on like that, a lot of play in the midfield, suddenly some chinks in the armor may emerge, but also fatigue fits in as well as we start seeing some of these opportunities. And they begin and usually end with set pieces in a game like this. So you're going to see corner kick opportunities, and then a ball in the middle, and we finally got a shot towards net by one team or the other. But really, we've seen a lot of play where the ball is just being passed around, worked around, and the defenses for each of these teams have had the final answer.
Yeah, some saves. We had a couple of set pieces, and this was the moment. Well, that was the first set piece, the first direct kick. We had a couple of other opportunities, but that set piece at the end where...
this highlight right here.
Here it is, right here.
And it goes deflected off the bar. That was going to go in initially. Gross with the save off of Thomas, and then again off of Horn, and then cleared off the back line by Chloe Michaels. And it's been pretty much what we've expected right now. I really expected coming in this would be a very difficult defensive game with Bedford trying to figure out how to break down this Lewisburg team. I think they're starting to find some answers to that, but they're just not getting Amber Thomas enough touches. Her only influence in this game so far has really been when she's gotten chances on set pieces. I think they need to find a way to get her more involved in the second half. Credit Sarah Burns, doing a great job man-marking her at this point. And for Lewisburg, I think they just keep playing the style that they do. They go out there free-flowing, look, they have nothing to lose right now because a team with 8 losses isn't supposed to be here. So they are so happy right now to have this opportunity, and this is a team that just might be loose enough to find a way to get one in the second half.
We'll see if a goal is scored coming up here in half number 2. We'll see what adjustments these two teams make, Lewisburg and Bedford, for the 2018 PIAA Girls 2A Soccer Championship. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get you set for half number 2 here on PCN.
Packed with 9 essential nutrients, low-fat chocolate milk can be an important part of your recovery routine. Refuel with chocolate milk after your next workout.
Pin it to win it with PSAC Wrestling on PCN. Watch the PSAC Wrestling Championships live on the PCN app December 8th at 6:30 p.m. PSAC, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, is an NCAA Division II intercollegiate conference. Cheer on your school during the Wrestling Championships live or on demand December 8th on the PCN app. PCN, Pennsylvania Sports. This Thanksgiving, have your turkey with a side of the PIAA Championships. Nothing goes better with Grandma's cranberry sauce than watching your team score during PCN's Thanksgiving Sports Marathon. Catch PIAA championship matchups in volleyball, soccer, field hockey, and more. November 23rd through the 25th on cable and stream on the PCN app. PCN, Pennsylvania Sports.
How did that become law?
Does the governor get to decide everything?
Why was that person elected?
PCN wanted to help answer these questions by creating Civics 101, a free online educational tool to teach Pennsylvania students how the state government works. Stream video interviews with elected officials, tour the state capitol and governor's residence, and so much more. Go to PCNTV.com to start learning today. PCN Civics 101.
At Hershey Park Stadium, the site of the 2018 PIAA Soccer Championships. No score as we head into the second half of action between the Green Dragons of Lewisburg out of District 4 and the Bisons of Bedford out of District 5. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. And Brian, as we looked at these coaches meeting with both of these teams, I feel like Lewisburg maybe had the slight advantage, but Bedford might have had the best scoring opportunity of the game. And Amber Thomas was, of course, the start of all that with her direct kick. How does Bedford get her and maybe also Jenna Brown a little more involved in the offense, get them some more touches?
Well, I think one thing you have to do is you have to try to move her around a little bit. And in the first half, what they did with her was they just kept her in that pretty much defensive midfield role. And I think you almost have to maybe you have a player in Jenna Brown who is a very talented player. Why not bring her to the inside for a little while? Take Amber Thomas to the outside, and maybe you can create something that way. I know it's not what they normally do, but sometimes in order to try to win a championship, you have to make those little adjustments. I don't know that they're going to do that, and I think one of the reasons why is because both these teams, I think, are very comfortable where the game is right now. It's still scoreless, and they feel like they've gotten some chances each way, and they don't feel overly threatened by the other team at this point. So I don't know that either coach is going to make any drastic changes, but I think if Bedford finds themselves behind at some point, I think they've got to vary something with where Thomas may be positioned on the field.
Well, you mentioned about these teams feeling comfortable in the scoreless game. Lewisburg has not given up a goal in the state tournament. Bedford has only given up 11 all year, but almost half of them coming in the state tournament. So these teams at Lewisburg as of late and Bedford really all year long have not given up a ton of goals.
No, they have not. And what you're seeing in the first half is the result of that, which is a scoreless tie and two teams that just are very defensively disciplined. And discipline is really a key word in the first half to explain it. And if these two teams stay disciplined in the second half, we may be looking at a game that continues this way. One goal can really open things up in a contest like this, though.
Here's a cross from Permy Ashkin right off the bat, and it goes right to Bedford's Bailey Donaldson. And the Bisons will look to clear the team switching sides with Bedford now moving left to right, Lewisburg right to left.
And there was Thomas actually making that run up the right-hand side with Brown more to the inside. So maybe that is the switch that they've made, and maybe she's just going to be looking because the ball's on this side. But it is an option and an opportunity for the Bison if they want to try to do that.
Sent away by Bedford's Jordan Brown. Goes out of bounds. Throw in here for Lewisburg, and it will be Allie Reed to take it for the Green Dragons. Good job by Lewisburg to clear for the moment. And the Green Dragons will play it out to the far side. That's Elena Malone.
You know, in this game, actually, Lewisburg's second state championship win at the boys level in 2016. Actually their third, but their second straight one. They had a player by the name of Joey Bangdia, who tremendous talent. And we'll get to that in a second.
Look at this lead pass. Permy Ashkin with space. And that is deflected off of Bailey Donaldson, and we'll have a corner. But another good ball, another good lead pass looking for Selena Permy Ashkin.
And a little bit of width on that pass allows Permy Ashkin to run off the ball. Good ball slicing through defenders, and Bailey Donaldson never giving up on this play. Here's one, though, if Permy Ashkin can take that with the left, maybe something happens with it. She has to get to the right, and that gave enough time for Bailey Donaldson to come by and make the deflection out.
Reich with the corner, headed out by Bedford, still in the box, and now It rolls out, and the Bisons will carry it forward here on the near side. Here comes Robin Kesselina. Can't get past Taryn Beers. Oh, no, check that. That's Chelsea Stanton here on the near side. And out of bounds off of Lewisburg. So Lewisburg has not really executed all that well on these set pieces thus far. They've had a couple of corners, and Reich has not really been able to get a good look to one of her teammates.
Yeah, they just haven't gotten the ball inside. And one of the reasons why possibly also is that this field is a very wide field. And in getting the ball all the way, and we saw the same thing in the girls' single-A game yesterday, where it's an adjustment trying to take a corner where you're used to maybe striking at a certain size field. And that's something that people don't realize about soccer. It is not necessarily a standard every single time has to be the same size of field. And there are variances. There is a maximum and minimum size. And this field here at Hershey Park Stadium is along the larger sizes of them.
Throw in far side for Bedford. Again, as we mentioned, Bedford maybe did not have as many chances as Lewisburg in the first half, but they certainly had the best one. But thanks to a couple of big-time saves from Lauren Gross, and then the clear out along the goal line by Chloe Michaels saved a goal and kept this game scoreless. Bedford trying to change that. They've scored 157 times this year and have been unable to crack through so far, as they'll have a throw in far side towards the corner.
They actually are the team that reminds me of that Lewisburg team, because it was a game where it was back and forth, and it was a game where the best player on the field found a way to impact the game. Bangdia scoring with about 5 minutes left to go in a game that was very defensively staunch. Reminds me of this game a lot. And as far as what Lewisburg is concerned, they love that memory, but they wouldn't want that to happen here, with Amber Thomas being the player who I would reference to be similar to Bangdia in that sort of a situation where the player that probably is the best talent on the field finds a way to insert herself and just force her way into the scoring column.
Out of bounds throw in here for Bedford. And again, we're back in the midfield. Lewisburg trying to change that, though. They play it back. Working it here to the near side. Pass to Permiashkin. Trying to get around the defender, and the obstruction there called, and it will be a free kick for Lewisburg.
Jordan Brown, the sophomore, right back, the one called for the infraction. You're going to see, and what happens there is Brown getting in the way, which you'll see sometimes, but never making a move towards playing the ball, instead obstructed the player, and that's why the call is made by our officiating crew.
Chloe Michaels again taking the free kick for the Green Dragons. Going towards the center of the field, headed into the air, headed into the box. Permiashkin is there, surrounded by white jerseys, and then cleared out of the box by Bedford. Nicely done on that set piece opportunity for Lewisburg, albeit about 40 yards away, but with Chloe Michaels and her big leg, certainly an opportunity for Lewisburg right there. And now they play it to the far side, but tracking it down is Kylie Horn for Bedford. Now Bedford plays it back. Works it here to the near side. This is Jenna Brown. And again, we've seen this from the Bisons. They've shown patience in the midfield in particular, but just have really been unable to push forward and create. The only time they've had opportunities have been on those two direct kicks taken by Amber Thomas.
And what they're doing is they're switching the point of attack very well. They're moving it from one side of the field to the other. What they're lacking then, once they get the ball to that side, is a plan to get it forward. So they're trying to just ram the ball right up that side then right away, instead of the opening. And that's where your midfielders have to come over and support and give you that option to go inside to once again continue keeping that defense off balance and moving the ball.
So now Bedford with an opportunity after the throw-in. Jenna Brown, good touch pass here on the near side with some space. Casalina plays it back to Brown, the cross towards the box, and it goes past everybody going to the far side, and it will be Reich to track it down for Lewisburg and clears it to the midfield.
Amber Thomas went down at the end of that play over here on the near side. A little bit slow to react, and now has started coming back to the play, but not 100%.
Lead pass there by Allie Reed, far side. And that was intended for Taryn Beers, but a little bit too far, and we'll have a goal kick for Bedford.
I didn't really see what happened to Thomas on the play as the ball went to the other side when she went down. And she's going to have a quick word with the referee. I think she just twisted the ankle there. You can see a grimace on her face at the end of that as she turned towards our camera.
Here comes Lewisburg. Allie Reed sends it back. That was Stanton, now all the way back to Michaels with the big leg. Sends it in, and a little bit too far. You saw Lewisburg trying to stay onside, and coming out to grab it is Lindsay Mowry.
The two center backs recognized that and had pushed up. It's actually the two outside backs for Bedford that were not aware and almost kept them onside.
Jenna Brown 1v2 trying to get around the defenders, and coming off her line and then clearing was Michaels, but coming off her line was Lauren Gross, the keeper for Lewisburg.
And Gross was there, but Michaels wanted to make sure. This would have been an awkward pickup for the keeper.
Going down was Allie Reed. A good job getting into that passing lane by Lewisburg and Elena Malone far side. Now a little give and go between Beers and Reich. Reich deflects that attempt to clear out by Bedford, and now the Bisons have control, work it towards the midfield.
Opening up just a little bit now as one team gets an opportunity one direction. The other team is now looking a little bit more quickly to counterattack.
Lead pass for Reich far side. Gets by the defender. Centers it. Opportunity for Beers trying to settle. Looking for Permiashkin. Top of the box. Permiashkin could not really get a clean look at that one. Now a good job by Allie Reed. She'll look to cross. She does. Permiashkin is there. And that is knocked away by the back line of Bedford. Goes to the corner of the box, and Allie Reed goes down. Whistles are silent. Lewisburg continuing to try and put the pressure on.
The assault is on right now, but the back line of Bedford continues to stand strong and did not even allow Mowry to have to face a save opportunity.
It'll be a throw-in for Bedford, but what an opportunity for Lewisburg.
Yeah, here's the cross. Permiashkin with chesting the ball down, ball deflected, ball bouncing up, deflecting around, just white shirts all over the place. And there's that pushed at the very end of that play by Sydney Tarakatak that was very close. And I think that's a play where I think if it's further up the field, they may call that one if they see the extended arms. I don't know that they saw the extended arms or realized that that was going to be in the box right at the corner and did not want to have that be the first opportunity of the game for a goal.
Well, Caitlin Schaefer in. Bailey Donaldson comes out for Bedford. Looks like she has a bloody nose. We've seen that a couple of times so far this weekend in Hershey. As now here's Amber Thomas, and unable to keep it in bounds here along the near side. She had some speed, had some momentum, but the ball just goes over the sideline here on the near side.
And Donaldson being out right now is a big loss for Bedford because of how important she is as a senior center back anchoring that back line. We'll see if Lewisburg can put more pressure on. They already had that pressure. I think it's possible that in that one deflection, it came up and hit Donaldson in the face.
Out of bounds, it will be a throw in here for Bedford. So an opportunity here for the Bisons. As you see Lauren Gross, and we had a substitution.
Taylor replaces Abby Donaldson.
Here's a cross by Amber Thomas. Kicked away for the moment, and a good job by Allie Reed to send it away for Lewisburg. Now we play it to the midfield. Permiashkin racing forward with some speed, trying to outrun the back line, and it's kicked away. Good job by, I believe that was Taylor Downs.
Yeah, Taylor Downs with Bailey Donaldson out of the game, slides to the inside. She ends up being the center back on the play as we see this replay, and just the speed without Bailey Donaldson. Somebody has to step up, and it's Downs who makes an outstanding play in the back.
Played again to the midfield here by Bedford.
While they work on Donaldson, it would be imperative for them at this point. There's a foul called near midfield. So they're going to get Chelsea Stanton on that one. But this is where you want to spend a little bit of time with that possession game if you're Bedford. So you get Donaldson back on the field.
To the corner, Michaels trying to save it, but it ends up being a throw-in for Bedford. And we have a whistle. Looks like there might be a player down. The clock has stopped.
Yeah, it's up here. Lewisburg near midfield has a player that is a little slow to get up, and that is Chelsea Stanton. And that's one of your defenders. And now we look the other way with Bailey Donaldson ready to check back in for Bedford. And this stoppage will allow her to do so. And now for Lewisburg, they play that back three in the back. And now Cassie Kepke is the player who's going to come in for them.
Throw in here for Bedford. Jenna Brown, and that will go over the end line goal kick here for Lewisburg.
And they did not get Donaldson in the game. They did not make that substitution at that time, and now they will. So they will shift the defense back over.
Follow PCN TV on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date on upcoming PIAA championship action on PCN, and cheer on your team using hashtag PIAA on PCN. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here on this now Saturday afternoon 2A Girls Classification Soccer Championship. We are scoreless, but things have really started to pick up, starting with the final 5 minutes of the first half.
They have indeed, and we're seeing a lot more opening for each team as both teams exploring the open spaces that are being created. Some good adjustments by these two coaches at halftime.
I think Bailey Donaldson came in at the right time. She got right into that pass by Allie Reed, looking to again lead Permy Ashkin here along the near side. Now Lewisburg will play it back. Chloe Michaels trying to reverse field, sending it to the far side.
And in the absence of one of the defenders back there, Chelsea Stanton, it's Sarah Ayers who has stepped back and is playing that role now for Lewisburg. I was interested to see what they were going to do with that back three triangle not being intact how they usually have it with the injury to Stanton. Looks like she's going to be okay. She's not quite ready to go back in. Over there you see, over on the right there, that's head coach Jose Vega. Very proud of this team. And he's said it's been a joy to coach this group this season, especially as hard as they've worked to get to this spot.
A 10th year for Jose Vega, but right now his team trying to defend this Bedford offense. They've done well all game. Bison's trying to create some opportunities, and again, Chloe Michaels, she has had herself a championship game.
Yeah, no question. She has been just staunch back in the back and just is allowing nothing, and probably has the best save of the game for anybody as she was able to clear one off the back line. Assisted, of course, by her keeper, Lauren Gross, who got two deflections on the two shots in a row that were sent in the first half by Bedford. Been our best chance of the game for either team.
Well, here's the ball top of the box towards the 18, and it's back towards the near side, out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in for Bedford. So now the Bison's putting on the pressure. Quick throw-in here for Jenna Brown, sent right back to her. Amber Thomas kicked out Lewisburg. Another throw-in here for the Bisons. Thomas will take it. Into the box it goes. Battle for it. And it goes over the end line, and it will be a corner kick. I think Lewisburg thought it was going to be a goal kick, as I believe it was Chloe Michaels along with, I believe that might have been Kepke there back there, but it will be a corner for Amber Thomas and Bedford.
Watch how they mark this also. They're man-to-man with the first few runners, and then the zone comes up from behind.
Thomas, a good ball high in the air, headed out of the box nicely by Lewisburg, and I think, again, that was Chloe Michaels on that back line, and she has been so important today for keeping Bedford off the board.
And she's not tall, but she is really good in the air. And you see on that sort of a play why she's the one playing center field for them. While they have man markers elsewhere, she's the one in the middle trying to find that ball wherever it goes and then head that ball clear.
Far side out of bounds, throw in here for Lewisburg.
You're looking for players who are in form right now for either of these teams coming in. For Bedford, it's always Amber Thomas. She's had 4 goals in the playoffs themselves. We also have not heard a lot today from Robin Castellina. And she had a goal, the game winner, or the game tire in that game against South Park. It was the second goal overall. They were out to a 2-0 lead in that game and then gave up a couple in the second half. Ended up winning that one in penalty kicks.
And Castellino on the year, 19 goals. Chase for the ball, smartly kicked out of bounds by Lewisburg's Sarah Ayers, so it'll be a throw-in for the Bisons.
On the other side for Lewisburg, and they have not had to do a lot of scoring in the playoffs.
Well, here's a cross by Jenna Brown. Goes across the top of the box and then sent away towards the midfield, and then Reich doing a good job to clear for the moment. Bison still putting the pressure on. They've really had a majority of the action here on the right side of the field, and they're attacking third, maybe for the last 5 minutes or so.
They have, and they're starting to be a lot more dangerous with the ball. On the other side for Lewisburg, when Permy Ashkin and Reich get the ball wide, that's when they've been at their best so far.
So now Bedford sends it sky high. Michaels sending it away back to the midfield. And now after a couple of really good scoring chances, really for both teams, now we head back to the midfield, although Reich trying to make something happen there far side. A takedown, no call.
Got to open that one. They're getting stuck on the one side and the opposite side of the field. There's lots of white jerseys. There were 6 of them all around the ball on that time. If Lewisburg looks to open up and come the opposite way, they're going to have some opportunity to try to break free.
A couple of substitutions here for Lewisburg as Tanya Omler wearing number 11 and Chelsea Stanton back in. Good to see her back into the lineup for the Green Dragons.
Replacing Taryn Beers as well as Cassia Kepke.
Taryn Beers perhaps getting a little breather as she'll get ready for the stretch run, the sophomore striker.
This is about the time that we've seen coaches around that 25 to 20 minute mark is when a lot of times they'll take that striker out, give them a 5-minute break and try to get them fresh for the last 15 minutes or so and see if they can be a little bit more dangerous than while the defense, who normally does not come out for most of these teams.
There's a dangerous play as Bedford, and the ball's still loose in front. The Bison's getting a little careless there.
Problem is that deflection made it spin really oddly, and it was not exactly what Bedford was expecting in the back and had trouble getting it clear.
Throw in for the Bisons. Play to the middle. Amber Thomas. Good ball for Jenna Brown. Brown trying the lead pass, and again, Chloe Michaels right there.
If she lifts the ball up in the air, then she's got somebody in on goal cleanly. Instead, she tried to play it through the leg of who else? Chloe Michaels, who is right there in the passing lane.
Kicked out of bounds. We'll have a throw in for Lewisburg and Sarah Ayers. Trying to move quickly, looking for Permy Ashkin. And kicked out by Jordan Brown, but Lewisburg still with it. I thought we were going to have a handball. It looked like Sydney Tarak attack, but she did keep the arms in, so the whistles are silent.
The arms were up, and it also looked like she was protecting the face, and they will acknowledge that. They would rather have somebody do that and not incur a concussion that they have to worry about as opposed to having to call that handball in the situation.
Throw in here for Lewisburg. It'll be taken by Omler, the sophomore midfielder.
And we're going to see it once again. The arms were into the body, and they're instructed not to call that. A lot of people have this idea that it touches the hand, it's a handball.
Here's a cross with Permy-Ashkin in front and a save. Permy-Ashkin was 1v1 with Lindsay Mowry, the keeper for Bedford, and she kicked it right into her midsection.
And this is why she's got 13 shutouts and also has allowed 11 goals all season long. Cutting down the angle just enough.
I was just going to say that she came out and just got right in front. Permy-Ashkin didn't have a lot of places to go, but here she is again going down the near side. The cross towards the middle, but a good job again by Bailey Donaldson. But Lewisburg continuing to put the pressure on.
We're going to take a look at it one more time. Permy-Ashkin in front. I think she rushed that one just a touch because it took a funny hop off her first touch, and she couldn't catch it 100% clean. Didn't get all of that one, and that allows Mowry to step in by cutting off that angle and being able to knock that ball down.
Permy-Ashkin has really had some good chances here, in particular here in the second half along the near side. 6 goals, 2 assists on the year for the senior midfielder.
And she has been the most dangerous-looking player on the field for Lewisburg. Along with Reich, on those 2 outside flanks, they've been providing the offensive opportunities for the Green Dragons.
Again, Permy-Ashkin in on that as the ball goes toward the far corner, kept in by Bedford.
Yeah, and this is why from both of these teams, you're not seeing a ton of adjustments from either side because they're worried about the defensive side of the ball, because if you don't give up a goal, you can't lose. At the same time, if you don't create enough offense, you're not going to win either. So at some point, is somebody going to take a chance, try to do something else? And I don't think either one of these coaches is willing to do that right now, knowing that the chances may be few and far between. But if they can take advantage of just one of them, it's probably going to mean a state championship.
Well, both of these teams have won on penalty kicks here in the state tournament. Lewisburg won on PKs over the District 3 champ Elko in the first round, and then Bedford needed PKs to defeat the District 7 champion South Park in the semifinals. So I think both of these teams are it's not going to be unfamiliar territory should we get to that point.
It will not be, and we have a lot of soccer before that's going to happen.
Yes, we do. Played back to Lauren Gross, and she will send it away. And Jenna Brown will let it go out of bounds, and she will take the throw-in. Substitution here for Bedford as Kylie Horn returning to the lineup for the Bisons. And she will come in for Schaefer. Yeah, so a little change up here for head coach Jeff Thomas. Trying to generate some offense, generate that goal, and at this point with under 16 minutes to go, 1 goal very well might do it. Permy-Ashkin racing forward, a bunch of white jerseys in front of her, works it to the far side, trying to create some space for herself. Can't split the D, but she does keep control. Over to Allie Reed. Reed past the defense, good tackle right there by Bedford on the back line, and I believe that was Horn on the tackle, but Lewisburg still again trying to keep the pressure on, but a decent opportunity right there for the Green Dragons challenging the back line of Bedford.
Well, they continue to go down the middle, and they just have so many numbers there that eventually someone's there to get it clear, but definitely Lewisburg has been the aggressor over the last few minutes now and are getting their chances.
Sent back in by Lewisburg's Elena Malone. And now Bedford looking to move forward here in the midfield on the far side. Casalina, her pass, but Stanton steps into that. Now here's Allie Reed, leaving it to Ella Reich, who's now here on the near side. She's played on the far side here in the second half. And that's going to be deflected, and that will be a goal kick as that was deflected off of Reich. So good job on the defensive end by Bedford.
And what they've done for Lewisburg is they've flip-flopped Reich from the right side, brought her to the left. Permy-Ashkin was playing more on the left side for most of the contest. Now they've shifted her more centrally, seeing that what type of a threat she's been in this game.
That ball gets over Bedford, and Allie Reed had a brief moment of an opportunity, but she kicked it a little bit too far, and Mowry was able to scoop it up.
And Mowry was a little late getting off her line that time, didn't recognize it. Fortunately for Bedford, Reed on the challenge defensively got slowed up just enough that she couldn't react quick enough to get out there.
Off the throw, and Amber Thomas sends it back the other way. Chloe Michaels pressing forward into the midfield. And now for Bedford, it's Tarak Attack, plays it to the far side to Taylor Downs. Now into the center of the field. Here's Amber Thomas, who has been very, very quiet today. Taken down, and there's a foul call. We'll have a restart and a free kick for the Bisons.
Notice what they did, though. As soon as Amber Thomas got the ball, all of a sudden, 3 green jerseys all around as the Green Dragons aware of who the danger person is on this Bedford team.
Thomas the kick, top of the box, headed back out by Michaels. Sent to the midfield by Lewisburg. And out to the far side. Tracking it down is Robin Casalina. Little give and go, back to Casalina from Tarak Attack. Back to Tarak Attack. And now Amber Thomas. Bedford here showing patience, now moving forward out of the midfield. Into the attacking third, but a little bit too far for Josie Hampton. And Rice tried to keep it in, but it will be a quick throw in here for the Bisons. As, again, Rice could not keep that one in the field of play. And a little push there by Bedford. The foul call, and Chloe Michaels will have a free kick.
Yeah, it looked like Juliana Taylor is going to get the call on this one. Yep, at the very end. I thought it looked pretty clean for the most part, but at the very end, as they separated, Taylor's arm came up, created the separation, and that's been a very consistent call all weekend long that we've seen so far.
12-minute mark here in the second half. Still scoreless. Both teams have had a few opportunities, more here in the second half. Obviously the big one at the end of the half for Bedford, in which Gross came up with 2 saves and then the clear out by Michaels. And that's still the best look, I think, that we've had all day. Lewisburg was pretty close as well. Permiashkin, yeah, but she's going to come out. So maybe a little bit later of a substitution than we've seen from teams this weekend. But I guess the strategy here is Coach Vega going to get Permiashkin a little bit of a breather for not only the end of the second half, but maybe for a little bit of extra soccer with a scoreless tie going on. Lewisburg, and unfortunately Taryn Beers did not get all of that one, and it will be a goal kick for Mowry.
They've been menacing, though, here in the second half, Lewisburg has, because when they've got the ball in the middle, they have been more dangerous with their opportunities. They have put themselves in a little bit better positions to try to score than they did in the first half, and I think they're starting to figure it out. At one point, I had the feeling this game was going to be one that really just felt, we're going penalty kicks. We might as well just skip right to it. But I'm starting to see from both teams right now, and we saw this at the end of the first half too, where it might be a little bit of fatigue, it might be just working through things, but I think both teams are starting to try to figure some things out against the other team's defense, that maybe here's where we're going to attack and where we're going to have some opportunities.
Jenna Brown has it for Bedford with the cross. Amber Thomas tried to get there, but Lewisburg's Grace Rosevier not allowing her to do that.
I think they need to try to find a way, Bedford right now, to bring Chloe Michaels away from that sweeper position.
Foul call behind the play, trip as Allie Reed hit the turf.
She was all the way back there defending. She's somebody who's listed as an attacking mid/forward, but tracking all the way back to try to help out.
Here's Chloe Michaels. Sends it to the midfield, headed back by Sarah Burns. And we'll have a free kick now for Bedford.
And now you're under 10 minutes left to go in regulation. This is where two teams that have not had the experience in this state championship level before, this is where the nerves really get going. You just have to just rely on all the training you've done and everything that you've worked on coming in, and just lean on that for your experiences.
Now in the middle of the field, now Allie Reed with it, sending free the lead for Reich. Reich reverses, goes to the right foot, tried to pass it inside the box, and it was kicked away. Lewisburg still putting the pressure on, and then it's kicked out, and Jenna Brown will settle.
But this has been the best chance anytime they get the ball wide. The back four, especially the two strongest players for this Bedford squad at center back, have to try to backtrack and get there and adjust to that. We see that right here. Here's Reich again. The other thing it does is it puts your goalkeeper in no man's land. Do I come out? And you can see when she looked at that ball, Lindsay Mowry looked towards that ball and said, I might have to, and then realized, no, I can't get there in time. So that indecision sometimes with the balls a little bit to the wide side is how Lewisburg has been more successful attacking in today's game.
Stanton to Reed, going to the middle of the field. Looking for Beers, now playing it back to the near side, and Jenna Brown gets in front. Jenna Brown, the pass now to Juliana Taylor, kicked out of bounds by Ayers of Lewisburg. Throw in here for the Bisons with about 7.5 remaining.
And this is a chance for Amber Thomas to get forward for Bedford. And how many times in the past have we seen that star player be quiet for most of the game and then find a way here in crunch time to make something happen?
Amber Thomas unable to get by Sarah Burns. Now Reicher on the near side for Lewisburg. Kicked out of bounds by Bedford. Throw in here for the Green Dragons. And it looks like Selena Permiashkin will now come back into the game for the final 7 minutes. So Coach Jose Vega gets her a breather, a little break, got some water, and she's ready to come back in the game and make something happen.
Maybe a quick little instruction for how they're trying to attack. She'll go wide to the right, it appears, where she was earlier. When they switched Reich and Permiashkin, that's where she went over to on that right-hand side.
Now reversed by Allie Reed, looking for Permiashkin on the far side. Taylor Downs tracks it down, deflected off of Permiashkin, throw in for Bedford.
You're too far away!
Headed towards the middle of the field, Allie Reed sends it sky high, 50-50 ball. Headed back by Bedford's Jordan Brown. Lewisburg sends it here to the near side, Reich. Reich to the middle, lead pass, looking and into the middle of the field, and then it's sent away by Bedford. Good defense, but we have a whistle, and we're going to have a direct kick. Was it a handball?
Handball. It came over to Jordan Brown, and unfortunately for her, it slipped up and hit her hand, and that allowed her to control the ball. So the wall coming up in front, and it looks like it's going to be an opportunity now for a person who's affected the game on the other end, but now Chloe Michaels with 3 goals on the season and an assist will step forward and take this free kick.
Chloe Michaels just outside the 18, about 21 yards away from the goal line.
Cannot allow a rebound here to be able to find a foot of a green player if you're the Bisons.
Set piece opportunity for the Green Dragons. Michaels on goal, and it goes right to Mowry.
And that works. no rebound at all. Mowry saw that the entire way. The 3-person wall spun. And for Michaels, that's not quite what she was hoping for. She was hoping to put that a little bit more to one side or the other and just didn't get enough bend on it.
And another push foul on Juliana Taylor of Bedford, so it'll be a free kick the other way.
Yeah, no question about that one. It was Elena Malone who was going up for that one and definitely was impacted by the shove.
4.5 remaining. Scoreless, but again, both teams have had their opportunities. They have not been able to take advantage, and we've had some good keeper play as well from Lindsay Mowry of Bedford and Lauren Gross from Lewisburg, and Right now, the Green Dragon fan's not happy with that call. Thought it was deflected off Bedford, but it will be a Bison's throw-in here right from about midfield here on the near side.
Substitution, though, is they were able to get Abby Donaldson back in place of Juliana Taylor, who gave them some good minutes.
And we'll do it all again. Quick throw-in for Jordan Brown. And now Lewisburg with the kick forward there by Allie Reed. And a smart move right there by Mowry with the Lewisburg attacker.
It was the safe move, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was the best move, as Maddie Cardella was going after that one, and it was she could have brought that back into her box and also had 4 different players to pass to, but really at that point just wanted to make sure there wasn't a chance.
Here on the near side. And Abigail Donaldson unable to control that, and a good play by Michaels to allow that to trickle over the end line.
Thought they were going to call a foul here on the near side because I thought Stanton had clipped the runner on the right-hand side for Bedford, but instead the no calling official looked at it and thought he was actually putting his whistle in his mouth to make the call, and instead waved it off.
Michaels with the free kick sent back towards the attacking third by Bedford. Under 3 minutes remaining here in the second half. We're still scoreless here in this 2A girls classification championship game. Allie Reed down the near side. Jordan Brown. And coming out to scoop it up is the Lewisburg keeper, Lauren Gross.
And she hasn't been busy for a little while. And for these keepers now, anytime you stand back there for a little while, you start getting a little antsy because you know that the next ball towards you is one that if you don't stop it, it's going to end up being the game-winning goal. You're very, very close to that time where it automatically is going to be
yes,
that way.
Yes.
But realistically, you're under 2 minutes to go. You've gone 78 minutes thus far without a goal. Seeing 2 within that amount of time is not very realistic.
I mean, I would say the best potential opportunity that one of these teams can have would be to, get in a good position to earn a set piece opportunity, and then that could be the goal. But right now we're just hanging around the midfield. Bedford moving towards their attacking third a little bit. But the Lewisburg back line is Permy Ashkin now all the way back there. And right now I think Lewisburg just content with continuing to just kick this one away and ride out the final 70 seconds of this one.
Well, this is what they had to do against Boiling Springs in the semifinal because Boiling Springs sent everything forward and had that opportunity.
Here we go, handball.
I'm surprised that they didn't allow that to continue on the advantage because it looked like Bailey Donaldson had a full head of steam going with the possession.
Free kick for Bedford. And Gross has to make the save as that's sent in right on goal. Not a bad idea given the time left. Hope for a rebound, hope for a bad bounce. But Lauren Gross up to the task, and she will send it to the midfield with time running out here in regulation.
Well, the problem with it is it's just too far out to be realistically thinking you're going to be able to beat the keeper from that. But as you said, the rebound's a possibility, and that ball was just too direct, too in the middle of the goal, and didn't force Gross to have to move.
Michaels will send it to the midfield. Reich couldn't get to it. Bailey Donaldson sends it away. And Michaels will clear. And with 10 seconds left, that might do it. Allie Reed, with a lead pass. Look out. Opportunity for Cardello. And a good job getting to that. So a slight possible opening there for Lewisburg at the end, but after 80 minutes of soccer, we remain scoreless here in this 2A Girls Soccer Championship game. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get set for overtime number 1 here at Hershey Park Stadium. You're watching Championship Soccer live here on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
These days, life is busy, but amazing. From the sci-fi brilliance of technology to the existence of toast, we move at a crazy pace until this happens. Time for MedExpress. Walk right in, get the care you need, and get right back at it. MedExpress, because life is urgent.
Packed with 9 essential nutrients, low-fat chocolate milk can be an important part of your recovery routine. Refuel with chocolate milk after your next workout.
I would recommend becoming an official because you can feel like you're a part of a sport that you love.
We officiate for the athletes and for the sport that we love, and so as long as you keep them first, then it's going to be a great experience.
The money I make from officiating for the past few years, I put all that money into savings to pay to finish my college education. In 6 months, when I complete that, I will not be in any debt.
Officiating the state championship and getting that call to officiate the state championship was an emotional thing for me, just because of what I've been through, you know, the ups and downs, and getting that call really meant a lot to me. Sometimes I see student athletes that I officiated years and years ago, and they say, "Man, you did a great job. Thanks for everything you've done."
PCN is proud to televise championship matchups of the Western Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic League. Now you can relive your favorite plays from the PIAA District 7 WPIAL Football Championships with an entire week of games on PCN on cable and stream on the PCN app. Go to PCNTV.com for the complete schedule. PCN, Pennsylvania Sports.
PCN brings the distinct aspects of Pennsylvania and its residents to your favorite screen.
Hear from state government and community leaders during unedited, balanced coverage of politics and policy.
Dig into the rich history and culture of the state, presented by notable residents and historians.
Score a view of the best high school, college, and world-class athletes competing across the state, and much, much more.
Start exploring the Keystone State today on PCN and the PCN app.
Well, the Lewisburg student section, they are pumped up for overtime. And, you know, it's a scoreless tie, but I gotta love the Green Dragon student section. They are waving those towels and ready for the first overtime. Great support here today for both schools here in the 2A Girls Soccer Championship. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for watching here on this Saturday afternoon. And, Brian, we've seen some moments today, but no goals as of yet.
No goals so far, and what we've seen so far is two teams that have really worked the ball around. They've had some chances few and far between, but anytime that there's been an opportunity, each defense that has been staunch all season long, and it hasn't changed here in the state championship game. These two teams have been defensively what they've been all year, and now we're going to take a look at some of these highlights here from the first and second halves of play. And what you're going to see is anytime the ball is going towards their own net, defending in numbers is usually what you're seeing from either one of these teams. Lewisburg with some great chances. There's Permy Ashkin with maybe the best chance of the game for either team. Michaels a shot there. Thomas with a free kick there. And what we basically have had is two teams in this game thus far that have just struggled to consistently put pressure on the other keeper. So what's it going to be here in the second half? And so many times in a game like this, you're either going to see one unbelievably outstanding moment or a mistake that ends up costing a goal. I always root for the former because the latter is one that just stings after that, and it's just really undeserved.
So first overtime, 20 minutes on the clock, golden goal. So one will definitely win it, as Bedford with some energy to start things off, and Amber Thomas into the play. Good takeaway. This is a nice 1v1 matchup right there with Chloe Michaels.
And it's a nice adjustment here because all of a sudden they've been playing her back in that defensive mid-roll. They tried sliding her out a little bit more, but got nicked up with an ankle, so she snuck back in that defensive mid-roll again. Here they start off the second half.
Not a great clear out. A takedown in the box. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a penalty kick for Bedford in the opening minute of overtime.
And it is a valid one where it was Abigail Donaldson. You're going to see her to the inside, and definitely it's a clip from the side, and unfortunately for Lewisburg, it is Tanya Umler who ends up coming in late on the play, so this is an opportunity for Amber Thomas. 57 goals on her career. She is the penalty kick taker, and she will go against Lauren Gross.
Well, we said it could come down to PKs. Not sure if this is what we envisioned, but here we go. Amber Thomas. Score! And Bedford is your 2A girls soccer champions on a penalty kick in the opening minute of overtime.
And it's painful for it to end that way, but the call was correct. And it is a foul in the box, and it has to be called. And it's a horrible, horrible way for Lewisburg to have to lose this game. They were sensational this entire game of really just thwarting a high-powered Bedford attack. But that little bit of change to begin this overtime period, where they bring Thomas up front, immediately try to pressure the ball forward, and then got an opportunity in the box, and Amber Thomas made no doubt about it. Not her best, but good enough to finish this one off and win a state championship for Bedford. District 5 represent. Not only do you have a representative here, but you have a champion.
And Bedford completes a perfect season, now 22-0. And one more look as Amber Thomas keeps it low. And Lauren Gross guessed right, went that way. But again, the fact that it was so low on the turf was tough for her to make that save. So the Bisons, they celebrate. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we will have the trophy and medal presentations live here on PCN.
Nothing is sweeter than watching your team compete in Hershey in December. But if you can't stand the cold, PCN has you covered. Catch the PIAA Football Championships live on cable and stream on the PCN app. Go to PCNTV.com today to subscribe. PCN, Pennsylvania Sports. This Thanksgiving, have your turkey with a side of the PIAA Championships. Nothing goes better with Grandma's cranberry sauce than watching your team score during PCN's Thanksgiving Sports Marathon. Catch PIAA Championship matchups in volleyball, soccer, field hockey, and more November 23rd through the 25th on cable and stream on the PCN app. PCN, Pennsylvania Sports.
After a great victory over Union forces in June 1863, Robert E. Lee marches his army to Pennsylvania. The advancing Confederates clash with General Meade's Union Army at Gettysburg, beginning the most famous battle of the Civil War. Explore our nation's past and the Gettysburg battlefield with the Gettysburg Collection. Become a member to stream the library online. Learn more at gettysburgcollection.com.
The first time a District 5 team is here in the championship game, and the first time the district gets the victory. The Bedford Bisons win 1-0 on a penalty kick by Amber Thomas in the first overtime. Not only in the first overtime, but in the opening minute of overtime. And just a great change of strategy by Bedford. Get Amber Thomas the touch, make something happen, inside, get the call, and then get the PK.
They look to attack right away, and it's something that they were reticent to do during the entire game. They really hadn't been that sort of high-powered in trying to push the ball that much. They get Thomas out wide, they win a throw-in, and after the throw-in, it ends up leading to the penalty kick.
And a great season by Lewisburg. They're going to finish 13-9-3, but they went on a monster run here at the end of the season. And let's send it over to our PA announcer, Ryan Hartman, for our medal and trophy presentations.
With Ella Raish, Maggie Daly, Amelia Kipke, Sarah Ayers, Kasia Kipke, Selena Permiashkin. Allie Reed. Catherine Simone. Elena Malone. Teresa Zay. Mary Schaefer. Chelsea Stanton. Noelle Reichert. Taryn Beers. Chloe Michaels. Sarah Burns. Grace Rosevier. Maida Yanaretti. Maddie Cardello. Tanya Omler. Reese McGregor. Lauren Gross. Assistant coaches, Kaylin Watts, Michael Ayers, Mark Organo, and Green Dragon head coach Jose Vega. And now we would ask that the Lewisburg seniors please step forward as you are being presented with the 2018 PIAA 2A Girls Runner-Up Trophy. Congratulations to the Green Dragons of Lewisburg Area High School. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to meet your 2018 PIAA 2A Girls Champions, the Bisons of Bedford High School. Head coach Jeff Thomas to present the medal, starting with Jenna Brown. Bailey Donaldson. Brooke Lankey. Hallie Sisk. Amber Thomas. Olivia Arnold. Taylor Downs. Kylie Horn. Jordan Brown. Robin Casalina. Abby Donaldson. Harmony Fetterman. Lindsay Mowry. Allie Seeger. Amelia Four. Shelby Ford. Josie Hampton. Lizzie Martz. Mackenzie Pyle. Caitlin Schaefer. Sydney Tarakatak. Juliana Taylor. Assistant coaches, Kyler Myers, Todd Rodman, Corey Thomas, and Bedford Bison's head coach, Jeff Thomas. And now we would ask that the Bison seniors please step forward as you are being presented with the 2018 PIAA 2A Girls Championship Trophy. Congratulations to the Bisons of Bedford High School.
And the champions, the Bedford Bisons, of the PIAA 2A girls soccer classification. And Brian, they finish off a perfect season, 22-0. What a year for Bedford.
Yeah, a tremendous year for Bedford. And as we said, a great year for Lewisburg as well, especially with all the adversity that they had to face just to get back here to a championship game. The first chance for these girls to get here. Guys' program had been 3-0 before. Girls lose this one, but really a tremendous season for them and for the Bisons. Wow, just being able to do what no other team has done in the district before, and to get here, win a state championship, and complete a perfect season. A tremendous way of doing that, something that they're always going to remember. And
Amber Thomas caps off a phenomenal career with the PK and the game-winning goal. So again, Bedford, your PIAA 2018 2A girls soccer champions. So for our entire crew here on the Pennsylvania Cable Network and my partner Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for watching this presentation of PIAA Championship Soccer here on PCN.